Hello everybody, welcome to a new video on my channel where I talk about the books that disappointed me most in 2021. I know in the past that I've always done a disappointments video, but that's always been a combination of like books that disappointed me and books that were just terrible, awful, and no good. And so this time, I'm gonna separate those videos because I realized there is a difference between books that disappointed me and books that were just terrible. So welcome to the books that disappointed me most in 2021. The first book I have here is Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han. This is the third and final book in the To All the Boys trilogy, and I did not like this book. This is the third installment. I'm not going to talk much about like the synopsis, but it takes place during Peter and Lara Jean's senior year as they are kind of applying for college, and Lara Jean is kind of questioning her future and whether or not Peter is going to be a part of it. There is a Netflix movie based on this, and I don't like the Netflix movie at all. Okay, let's get into this. So the one thing I really hated about this book was how toxic Peter and Lara Jean were. This was not the couple I wanted to get together in book one. I really did not like them. I didn't like Lara Jean in this book. I did not like Peter in this book, and I hated them together. I was hesitant about this book because I had heard mixed things about it. I'd heard some people say it was their favorite in the series, and I had heard others say it just felt like an add-on. And I can tell you right now, it felt like an add-on. I did not like it at all. I'm glad I'm done with the trilogy, but it was not good. I was really disappointed in it because I really loved book one, and even though I thought book two was just okay, book three was just not good. Haha! Next we have a bit of a controversial one, and that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Oh my god, please don't come for me. I read this book before the show came out because I'm a legend like that, and I did not read this book back in 2014 when it came out. I wanted to make sure I read it before I saw the show, and I did exactly that. However, I was not impressed. This book just kind of like fell flat. It was kind of boring. There wasn't a whole lot to the plot, and I remember comparing it to The Cruel Prince, but the thing that The Cruel Prince had that this didn't was a couple that I rooted for. So I'm sorry, y'all. I don't like Melina. Darklina I have mixed feelings about. I do plan on reading Siege and Storm though because I, want to be a legend and be able to watch the show. To me, if I read this back when I read like The Mortal Instruments, I feel like I would have eaten it up. I just was not impressed for a series that's really hyped up. Next, we have 10 Truths and a Dare by Ashley Elston, I believe. I DNF'd this book. This is one of the few books I DNF'd this year. I was given an e-arc of this through NetGalley and I could not finish it. The thing with this book was, I believe it's a companion to 10 Blind Dates. Even though I don't think you have to read 10 Blind Dates before this one, you definitely should, because I was thrown in with a huge cast of characters, none of which I could keep straight. I was so lost. The whole thing kept giving me a headache, so I stopped reading it. I want to give this book another chance though because I feel like I'd really enjoy it, but it was just way too much for me, so I think I'll have to read 10 Blind Dates, get a better understanding of the cast and characters in that book, and then jump into this one. Okay, now I don't normally include rereads on my favorites or like disappointments or worst books, but I had to include this one because when I reread this last summer, I did not like this book at all. And that was so shocking for me because like this was my Bible growing up. I loved Matilda. I based my personality off of her and Coraline by Neil Gaiman. Like those are the two books that shaped who I am today. And rereading this, I just felt awful. I did not enjoy a second of it. I did not like the characters in it except for like Miss Honey and Matilda. I really did not like how the adults behaved in this book. Like why the hell are adults beefing with literal 5-year-olds? What is wrong with society, okay? So yeah, I had to include this book on this list just because it was really absurd and I just really did not like it or enjoy it this time around. Next I have another controversial one, and that is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. The thing with this book is that it was just like cringy. Everything about it was cringy. Like the dialogue was cringy, the way the main character behaved was super cringy. I kept reading this and I'm like, is this a YA contemporary? But it clearly wasn't because these are like grown adults. It really read like a YA contemporary, so like if you're someone who wants to get into the romance genre but doesn't know where to start, this would be like a pretty decent start, but it just felt so immature for a book that's literally about two grown adults. I don't know. I found myself cringing way too much while reading this book, so it's going on the disappointments because like everyone and their mother has been hyping this book up since like 2016. Next, I have one that I don't think many people talk about, but that is The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. I listened to the audiobook of this and I could not keep anything straight. I had no idea what was going on for most of it. I feel like each chapter was supposed to be like a little episodic thing, but it did not translate well in the audiobook. There were too many voice actors, there was too much stuff going on, and I was like so lost. It was a really well produced audiobook though, because there was so much going on, but it almost needed a visual medium to help me keep track of it. Like, I needed to physically read this book rather than listen to it, just because I couldn't keep anything straight. I really did want to finish this though, and I got pretty close to the end. I had only about 2 hours left on the audiobook before I ultimately just decided to call it quits, because I realized I wasn't really enjoying it because I kept spending my time being like, what's going on? And lastly, we have another unpopular one, and that is Every Heart a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is another book where I just couldn't keep anything straight. I didn't know what was going on. There was like too much information given in such a short amount of time, and then the actual like murder mystery plotline was super predictable and really short and like wrapped up way too quickly. I just thought it was like, okay. I don't know if I'll continue with this series right now. I think I need to distance myself from this book a bit, but yeah, I just was not that impressed by it considering like so many people love this series. These were all the books that really disappointed me in 2021. Let me know down below, what books disappointed you? Did you agree with my opinions on any of these books? If I accidentally listed your favorite book, I'm sorry about that. It was not my cup of tea, so I apologize. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this for what it was, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe as well. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!